Sigh of the Storm is brought to you by Revelton Distilling Company. You can visit them in Osceola, Iowa, or on the web at www.reveltondistillery.com.
Hey, y'all, welcome to Sigh of the Storm podcast. This is your host, George Trice, joined by my co-host, Brent Big Play Curvey, Marcus, the Power Riser High Tower. We still ain't got a name for him. We still ain't got a name for him. Y'all ain't, y'all,
legend.
Yeah, legend, but they ain't on Twitter. They not on Twitter giving them a name. So we trying to give them a polo. We trying to give them some Coach's Colossus. We trying to give them stuff, and they don't even want it. You know, but we gonna figure it out.
I'm just one of the guys.
Hey, money Marcus Pfizer. Money Marcus Pfizer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I like it. So then we joined today. We got a special guest. So we told y'all we was gonna start having some guests, you know, when we got Brandon Hawkins out here.
Yes, sir.
Number 12, right? You know, the man, he's on video with us, so you can see the video on YouTube. But, you know, if you don't look at the YouTube video, you know, you can hear us. But B Hawk is here. You know,
thank you.
You know, welcome on the show, my man.
Thank you for having me, and it's a blessing and a privilege to be with y'all. Thank you very much.
No doubt. And introduce your partner that you got with you.
Oh man, this is my son, man. This is Enzo. This the young and up and coming.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
He said hi. There you go.
What's up?
What's
up? Say hi.
You smiling now. You
There
ready?
you go.
You ready?
Hey.
What's on your shirt, man? Is that a bear? Oh, I like it. Well, welcome to the show, man.
He said, "Welcome to the show."
You happy to be here?
There you go.
Nice. So yeah, you know, with the start of basketball season, the men started off on the 7th with their prelim game, the exhibition game, and the women started off last Wednesday, the 2nd, with their game. We talked about how they're ranked number 8. We talked about Brees Hall last week, Brandon. We talked about our new Big 12 media conference, big contract for video and the extra money we're gonna get there. You know, we talked about where we stand in the Big 12. We just started shouting out the sports, but this episode, I know we won. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, y'all. We won. You know, it's like that scene from Ghostbusters when she talked about we got one. You know, so it's been 5 games since we got one. But I wanted to start off on a whole bunch of stuff. I'm about to put a whole bunch of stuff on the screen, and audience, bear with me because I'm still on my high from this past weekend, and so. This past weekend was the beginning of the 100-year inaugural celebration of Jack Trice's life. Mm-hmm. And that will culminate next October with that game to signify the last game of his death. But I was out there this past weekend and, you know, follow me, George Trice. I'll add you. I love friends on there. Trice Legacy Foundation on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. You can find us there. You see some pictures there posted by Iowa State and myself, but I got the chance to unveil the new sign of the South 4th Street between Hilton and the stadium. It is now Jack Trice Way. So I got to pull that sign down. And it was raining. It was cold. City of Ames had me up in the boom, and the wind was hitting me. And but I pulled that cover off, and man, the energy just changed, man. And it was great to see that. And that was Friday morning. But Friday afternoon, I got a chance to be the first person to walk through the new sculpture. It's not really a sculpture. It's more of a monument. It's like a 15 by 15 cement block. Yeah. You know, this thing is massive. And what it is it's called Breaking Barriers. And the artist gave me a signed rendering of it, but it's Breaking Barriers. And as you walk up to this, you see these bronze footprints in the concrete leading up to this, what looks like a rusher rushing through a concrete barrier. And there's a crack in the top. He broke through that barrier. And I was the first person to walk through that. But after the game, we had people, lined up to walk through it. And I'm going to share this so that YouTube sees it. So I'm hoping that I can get this sharing right. but let me share something real quick. And it's the video of, people walking out. So here it is right here. This is the video, and I'm gonna play this for us real quick. It's only a couple seconds, but here we go. Let's play this and see if we can get this this going. Oh, let me find the video. Okay, here's the video right here. All right, look at this, y'all. Look at that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice.
Dope, man.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait till I be able to go back and do
Yeah,
that.
people was just walking through, stopping through, looking through it. The energy behind that was like, it was special.
I'm gonna give me a football and a helmet.
Yeah. So that was, and I'll be honest, that was the only part of the sculpture that was different, was because they didn't wear helmets and shoulder pads back then. That's the only thing about it. It picks up the concept and it picks up the game the way it is now. But that is breaking barriers, and it's for Jack no matter what. But again, I touched it, I felt it, it was powerful. So
Good.
So that was that morning. And then later that evening, we had a reception from the president, Wendy Winterstein. She set up this private reception for people, and then we had a public service, and I want to say a couple hundred, 400 people were in the Jacobson building. The mayor spoke. He delivered a proclamation. I have some signed copies of authentic proclamation that I may, raffle off. I mean, there's 3 of them in existence. They gave me 3 street signs, only 3 of those in existence besides the ones that are hanging up. And, I got a chance to speak. And I do want to shout out, we talk about the win, and as we go into that, go out to Jack Trice 100 and look at the events that are coming up. Please look at that. Please support where you can. Please go to the events where you can. But, I was glad that this to me seemed like the right step, again, for more than just football, as I've been talking about. This was about Jack and his legacy. This really had nothing to do with athletics.
Right.
It was held in Jacobson, but this was about the things in the community that were happening outside of athletics. And it was great, man. So I miss Brent. I was all over the place. Brent tried to hit me up a couple times. My wife had my phone. I had a speech written on my phone, and I gave it to her. And I was like, I'm winging it. And all my friends looked at me like, oh shit, here we go. So I'm like, man, excuse my language, we got a little kid on there, but I'm like, dang. But they was all right. They was happy with it.
That's
but as we talk about the game, one of the person that spoke, one of the student athletes, we wanted somebody to speak, and his name was Anthony Johnson Jr. His story is phenomenal, but he actually got an interception in the game. But he's on the poster for the game. He started all his games. He's a 5th-year senior. But he spoke up there about what it meant to him to play at Jack Trice. Plus, a family, the Likens, I believe their last name is, they created a scholarship, a Jack Trice athletic scholarship for a current player. And he was the first recipient. Last year was the first recipient of this award. I don't know how much it is, but, this young man's story, I'm not going to tell his story without asking him for permission to tell his story. Hopefully I can get him on here. But his story is powerful for where this kid came from. And we talk about getting people out of situations and getting into something better. His story will make you tear up. And I got a chance. I exchanged numbers with him, and I want to keep in touch with him and his family because I want to find a way to do something for this young man because he needs something done for him. He does a lot for his family, and it's very selfless and does nothing for him. So shouts out. Rebel 10 player of the game in my book was Anthony Johnson Jr. So shouts out to you, sir. He called me Mr. George in a text. So just call me George, man. Just call me George if you listen to this, man. Just call me George. You ain't got to put the Mr. on it, man. But, I appreciate you speaking. I appreciate you being up there. I appreciate the mayor of Ames, the Ames Historical Society, Channel 13, Channel 8. Everybody was out there. So it was good, man. I had a good weekend. And my kids got to be at their first tailgate because my 2 youngest had never tailgated. So that was fun for them. They was out there kicking it, chilling. I'm gonna share one more picture because that's what I'm doing right now because I'm leading. But that was them. Izzy's not mad. He's just focused. He's focused right now. That's Izzy and Ari. He's focused in front of the military side. There's like 8 of these signs across the city. and we took a picture with a couple of them, but he focused.
Beautiful,
So they got a chance to be out there. Shout out athletic department. Kelsey Sampson is my homie out there in the athletic department. She helps me whatever I need. So, much love to them. One other thing I want to talk about is a book, The Idealist, the Jack Trice and the Battle for a Forgotten Football Legacy. This book just came out in September 28th, and I have not read it yet. I just got it in the mail when I got back. Jonathan Gilbert is the author, and he actually was doing a book signing at the stadium before the game outside the Alumni Center. Seneca Wallace did the foreword of this book. So it's talking about, basically, Jonathan was a writer about injuries, sports injuries is where he started. And then he started to do the research on Jack Trice. And I haven't read it, so I'm not endorsing it yet. I'll tell you once I read it if I'm endorsing it. But Seneca put his name on it. Seneca was talking about how it is to be a quarterback, be an athlete, and then those injuries you get. And so I want to read this book. I heard it's a quick read, a good read, but I'll let y'all know in a book review. We're gonna have an Oprah's book club with that one. So so good to there. So now let's get to it. What happened on Saturday?
Got the dub.
Got the dub. Much
Beat up
needed
on the
dub
bag.
at that.
Absolutely.
So I will say that it was destined for us to win. You know why I say that? It was raining like cats and dogs, and it was 70 degrees every day up until Thursday. And then Friday, it was like 40 and raining. About 11:30 in the morning, the rain stopped, cleared up, sun came out. The storm is coming. The storm was coming, and it came, and we won. Like, it was like destined for us to win. And it was a good game. I mean, the fourth quarter was phenomenal. I don't know what them boys did after halftime, but they came out in the fourth quarter and scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I mean, what do y'all think of the game? What do y'all think of that momentum we had? Because what we talked about, we got 5 games left. 4 games left. This week, Oklahoma State, they're ranked. And then TCU, they just cracked the top 4.
Yeah,
they cracked the top 4.
Yep.
And we got them the last game. I think that's the I don't know if is that the 19th, I think, like the Saturday before Thanksgiving, or it's the Saturday after. I mean, if it's a Saturday after Thanksgiving, I might try to find a way to get out there. It's gonna be cold, but if we playing against them and they're in the top 4, I got to get back for one more game. I got to get back for one more. But we when we look at that game and look at what we did against West Virginia, shout out to Norton. Like, I didn't really even know about this cat. Cartavius, scored 2 touchdowns for us in the fourth. A short yardage back, and he came out and did what he had to do. And the kicker was out there. We had 2 kickers in there. They were doing their thing. But what y'all think of the game, Brent? I'm gonna start with you. You the ex-man, the big play. So what did you think about it?
I thought we started to tap into whatever our identity is on offense, man. I think did a lot of things really well. Hunter didn't look as flushed or as flushed in the pocket or as nervous. I think he made good decisions. I don't think he threw a pick this game. So he saw a little bit of growth, and I think that'll be the thing that kind of gets us. Get the I guess is the best way to do it. So, at this point, it's all about momentum, man. The more we start packing them up and piling them up, we got a chance to win out. Obviously TCU is going to be the toughest battle, but Oklahoma State just got beat at home. I think everybody else is on the table as far as I'm concerned. Defense, of course, played lights out. Everybody had the question about offense, and I think they're starting to answer some of those. And I think the more, we kind of get through the season and see what he does well, I think the better we'll see our offense play.
Yeah, because there's no need to talk. The defense has been doing their thing all season, and then for this to happen, and I'm really hoping that the wind is out of the sails of Oklahoma State. Like, I was supposed to be there this weekend, but I've been traveling so much, I backed out of that game. But I'm hoping the win is out of their sales because they're not going to be in the national championship conversation. So I'm hoping they kind of sulking right now and that we can take advantage of that. It's sports, and I want to take advantage of all the weaknesses of my opponent. And they got a weakness right now because they mad. But that's a good and bad thing because they can play aggressive just to show that they should be there, or they can let that defeat hit them. So I don't know. Marcus, you've had some tough losses in your day, early in your career, and in your NBA career and everything. Like, how do you bounce back from a tough loss? But how do you gain momentum after winning, after having a streak of losing, and then how do you build on the momentum after you win that first game? What do they need to do to keep this going as we finish these last 3 games?
Well, basically, they just got to stay the course, of what they've been doing. Like we said all year long, we hadn't been losing bad.
Mm-hmm.
We've been losing the games, but we hadn't been losing bad. So the practice structure has probably been the same way that it's been all year. Maybe they tweaked it a little bit, kicked it up a little bit, but there hasn't been a lot of things that has changed. So keeping the ball rolling that way goes a lot for them. And we was able to pull out that win last Saturday.
Yeah. B, what about you, man? I don't know if you got a chance to catch the game, but thinking about losing 5 in a row, winning. You've had some ups and downs in your careers as well. Like, what do you think?
He didn't lose 5 in a row with Iowa State.
No, we didn't do that.
I wanted y'all to say it. Y'all had to say it. It wasn't on me to say it. Y'all got to go.
I don't even think we lost 2 in a row, to be honest.
Contrell was on Facebook the other day talking about he never lost in Kansas.
We didn't.
I'm like, you're right.
4-0, baby. For real.
We need your magic back. We need to keep that going this year for basketball.
Yeah, but I didn't get a chance to catch the game. But I will say this from our experience of being athletes, right? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it too is simplicity. Keep it simple. Like Marcus said, just do what you've been doing. As successful as our team was, people would think that maybe we have some crazy plays or our shit was very, very simple. Plays was simple. Get the ball to Marcus, do what we need to do and keep it moving forward. But we were very simple. So just my thing would probably be just hone in on what you was doing, tighten up, and keep it simple on the things that you can perfect. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure out there, the weather plays a factor. I would just not being a football player, but obviously thinking that's why you would want to keep it simple. And minimize those turnovers. Like you said, the quarterback didn't throw any turnovers. I just looked it up on the stat. Turnovers are backbreaker anytime. I don't care what sport you play.
Yeah, so Hunter, he listened to our podcast last week. Because I was talking about I wasn't trying to start the quarterback controversy. I was telling him he had to do some things, and he came out and he set us up. So Hunter, I appreciate you listening. I don't know if you really did, but somebody told you what I said, and I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't saying it in a negative way. You just had to play your game, and I think you came out and you played your game. You played comfortable. You looked more comfortable this week than you had in the past couple games. The first loss, I get it, but then those other losses, I think you just started to feel the pressure, and the pressure makes diamonds, as they say. And you came out here and you did something, and you turned that offense around. You are the leader of that offense. I was down in the end zone for that first touchdown in the second quarter. I was down there on the field, and I got a chance to see what you was doing. So, you were comfortable, you were calm, you were collective, and that's what you need to keep doing, because you have some big adversity coming up especially against Oklahoma State and TCU for your two of your last 3 games of this season. So I applaud you for coming out, showing who you really are and what you're capable of doing. And I hope that you continue to do this, because you are now the leader of this team. This is your team.
Big time, for sure. To come out and be poised. Like you said, we hope he listened to the podcast. We hope a whole lot of the fans and the players and everyone is listening to the podcast. But at the end of the day, we're not doing anything to try to put any other guys down, anything like that. Just trying to light a fire and make them understand. For us as athletes, we've been through it. We understand the things that we have to do, and the things that we go through each and every day. In practice and preparing for the games, and we see it. for you to be in the position that you're in, you have the talent. We definitely believe in you, trust in you, and everything like that. But we're for the most part. I don't know about Brandon, but I know me and Brett, we're in coaches' roles now. So sometimes the coaching side comes out. We got to say the things that's not popular all the time because we definitely got it. So we understand where it comes from. It comes from a place of love, but at the same time, we expect so much out of you guys, and we expect the victories to come. Win, lose, or draw, we definitely going to be pulling for you regardless. But at the end of the day, we know you have that talent, and we're looking forward to manifest itself.
Yeah. B, you pulling out some Johnny Walker?
Yeah, everybody else looks like they
Man,
got
Johnny.
Let me join in.
We got to get Revelton and get him some in the mail out there.
Hey, Shipley, when you editing this, get B Hawk one for coming on the show. Revelton, get one to B Hawk out there in California for him jumping on the show. He got to drink with us, or we drink.
That's right.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but as we talk about, what they did, let's bring. I want to bring up. There's 4 key stats that are always tracked. That kind of are the difference tellers. Total yards, 200 to 391. Doubled them up. Yeah. Turnovers, they had 1, we had 0.
Yes.
First downs, they had 11, we had 26. Time of possession, 38 minutes to 21 minutes. So keeping that ball, keeping it out of their hands, and especially when you play, again, these top ranked teams, keeping the ball out of their hands, keeping that ball, doing your thing. And one of the things was that we, I think our last touchdowns, I want to make sure they were like 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes. So, right around. So like 2 minutes and 58 seconds in the fourth quarter, we had 8 plays, 94 yards, 2 minutes, 58 seconds. Our next touchdown was 7 plays, 64 yards, 4 minutes. And then our last touchdown was 4 plays, 34 yards, 2 minutes and 48 seconds. But having those big plays on that, it was 8 plays, 94 yards. It's like and when we at Iowa, we went 99. I think it was 21 plays, 99 yards. It was 21-99. I was like, we're gonna get t-shirts made of that. But that's what it is. They were scoring fast. But that keeps the defense out there, especially, the way we were playing, it keeps the defense out there. So we got to play balance, but scoring quickly and scoring often is kind of what the key was to this game.
I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't think defense minded them scoring quick. Even if they had to come out, you can tell they got a pretty decent rotation, so that always helps. But if they should have did and find a way to get a stop here and there. What I'm saying? They help the squad out.
Yeah. No. So, I'm looking forward to these boys doing this again. Oklahoma State this Saturday. That's going to be a game for us to pay attention to, again, because now we have the opportunity winning 2 of these games. These are not unwinnable games. Now, I know we talked about it last week that a bowl game is not really it's a consultation prize, but I still would want to go to a bowl game. You still want to go. You still want to get that. You get the recognition. You get that extra cash. The kids get their extra little gifts and stuff like that. So it's a lot of bonuses and perks to getting there for our program, for these kids that are out there, especially these seniors that they may not be going to that next level. But, winning 2 more games, y'all going to a bowl. So Iowa State, keep y'all head up, keep doing what you're doing, keep that momentum going because we supporting you, we behind you. So. Absolutely. So no doubt. So yeah, we looking forward to next week. We're gonna see what these boys can do. I want to see. Just looking through some more things, make sure I ain't missed nobody. We had a fumble, wasn't lost, but we did have a fumble. But that don't mean that. I don't care about that. Yeah, man, it was good. It was good. Yeah, you can't beat a dead horse. We couldn't beat. It's like we couldn't beat it when they was losing. Like we losing. Right. We know what we need to fix. Yeah. We won. We know why we won. Do that again. Do it again. So
and those are the small things, like you said, the time of possession, not turning the ball over. No matter how good you played, those are the things that the coaches track. And Brandon can tell you this. We've had some games where, we've gone out there and tore up on the opponent, and we had this breakdown chart that everybody hated, As soon as we walk into the locker room, that's the first thing that you look at. And I remember I think Jamal had a triple-double against Missouri. You know, to have a triple-double, have a good game, we win that game, it was on ESPN, and always the first thing we look at is the breakdown charts, and that's the little thing. If you're getting back on defense correctly, are you closing out correctly? And anytime your plus and minus was upside down, the whole team was running a punish for it. So for us, we were so locked in on doing the correct things right, stride stop, you know, making the correct pass. You know, definitely turnovers was there. One things that Euschtacy and the coaching staff was big on was making more free throws than the other team attempted. You know, those are the little things that separates you from being the better team. Like even if the score was close or if we blew the team out, it's still, as long as the breakdown sheet or the breakdown charted itself right, it always seemed to work out. And if we lost the game, you know, we knew that the plus minus was definitely off. So you could come out and think you had a good game. You think you did everything right. And you want to talk about, you know, the most frustrating times was coming into practice that next day after you done had a big double-double or scored a lot of points and your breakdown sheet was upside down. Man, that was going to be a bad practice. So the first thing we looked at the chart and all you hear was, damn. And everybody just walk out on the court and get ready because it was no setback. You know, we weren't thinking about the win. We were thinking about how to get everything in line, get everything structured, because we knew the coaching staff was charting all those little things that weren't sexy, but it was the things that made us win. And at the end of the day, we know, you know, that's important to the coaching staffs, and there's no coincidence that once you have that in structure the right way, the wins come.
Yep. And just to piggyback off of that, because it's funny that you bring that up, Marcus. We was just rambling, you know how we talk sports and stuff. And I was talking about that breakdown chart. And I mean, everybody say they was the first, but I'm gonna be honest. You watch these NBA games, these NFL games today, and it's called analytics.
Right.
They just flip the word. That's all it is.
And
that plus or minus,
right?
We was on that first. I swear to God, because no one was doing that breakdown chart. And like I said, everything Marcus said, and just to piggyback off it, somebody like me who's a freshman, the only freshman that came in with junior college dudes, all touted, highly, whatever, Marcus, Jamal, all that nerds, Stevie. Keep it 100. That breakdown chart was the reason why I got to play and be the freshman off the bench. Because it does. And I like to say it's the details of the game, right? Everybody got to play. Everybody got this, but it's details to the game. And when you got somebody special like Marcus playing and, you know, he's attracting all this attention, it's hard to get somebody like that open, right? So it's details to it. Like, Mark, they would mark you if you didn't set a proper screen.
Yes.
Well, if you don't set a proper screen, how is Marcus supposed to get open? How are we supposed to get our best player the ball?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's things of where your vision is. Right. If somebody cut back door and you turned your head, that was a minus. Right. You don't see the ball. You don't see where the help is coming from. So it's all the minute details. And it does, man. It'll break you because, like I said, if you're on the bad end of that stick, that's how you easily find yourself at the end of the bench because you get exposed.
And for us, it was so hard because, you know, you get yourself to thinking of, you want to play well, but you get yourself to thinking about those breakdowns so much during the course of the game, you know, and like Brandon said, not only with the screens, you know, if I got the ball and the double team came and I didn't make the correct pass, then that's a minus for me. You know, if I didn't crash the boards, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I uploaded on Facebook, Instagram when we played down in Kansas. And I use it for the teaching moments for, you know, high school and AAU and stuff like that. And the first play on that clip, Contrail shot a 3. And so the starters, me, Contrail, Jamal, Stevie. And so we were all at that. Contrail shot the 3. He made the 3. And as soon as the ball went in the basket, you could see me and Stevie turning, rushing back on the defensive end. You can see Contrail pointing at and Mike Nurse and Mike making sure that he's supposed to be where he's supposed to be at, and Jamal and making sure everywhere where it's supposed to be at. Because if you weren't, you know, at halftime they was going to talk about it, and then definitely after the game, no matter if we won the game or not. So those are the key things that comes along when in practice after a win or after a loss that you may not think, they weren't looking at it. Trust me, they were picking up on every single aspect of the game. And, at the end of the day, it took a while. It took a few months for us.
It did. Regular season.
Hey, Brent, I'm about to cut these dudes off because look, man, Brent, next time I'm bringing on a football person, because football season ain't even over. These dudes have already hijacked the whole damn thing. Talking about basketball. I ain't even get there yet.
Hold
on. Bring the correlation back. Bring it back to football, and then we're gonna move to basketball. Do it.
The correlation the correlation is how the coaching staff keeps everyone in line and prepares for the next game if it's a win or a loss. Like we said, we weren't losing those games by that much. And it wasn't like we were getting blown out and the team were down on themselves and the coaching staff were down on themselves. They knew eventually if we kept, like you said, it was raining cats and dogs and we ain't had no turnovers. That has to be, you got to give credit to the coaching staff of understanding that they kept the game plan structured the way that it was supposed to be and they got it onto the field.
That's what's up. Hey,
Gee,
y'all,
can I ask Brent a question though about football real quick?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
What's that?
The floor is yours. I was just messing with you. We just have fun on here, man.
Because I do have a question for you because obviously I know with Marcus, he was my teammate. But for football, okay, in a situation like this, I know you guys have way more players, obviously, than we do as basketball. I don't know what college carries, 75 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it is 75.
Okay.
I think it's a little – the roster is a little tighter on the weight games, but 75.
Okay. So my question to you is specifically, how do you guys police and hold each other accountable?
Question.
Take the coaches out. How do you guys hold each other accountable? Because I knew with us, it's only 15 of us, right? We could be direct. We could be blunt. We could keep it real and not take it the wrong way. All them personalities, offense, defense, special team. How do y'all hold one another accountable? Because to me, that's the most important part. It's really not about the coaches.
It was typically by position group, man. So it was, the D-line held each other accountable. And then, to that, it was the linebackers, they held each other accountable. And, DB same way, offense was the exact same way. So the O-line, they had like a guy. So I kind of looked at it as we had captains within captains, you know what I'm saying? So each position group had a guy that we all kind of talked, if there was an issue or a problem or whatever, we had a guy that we could always all right, well, he said we need to do X, Y, and Z. So that's what we're going to do. Simple and plain. Right. No questions asked. Our leader says, let's do it. Then we're going to rock and roll. So, and then from that, with those captains on each side of the ball, then it kind of went to an offensive defensive thing. So, as a team, I think we all played to whatever our strength was. And, at the end of the day, defense wins championships, right? So, and that's it, on any field, no matter where you are on the court, on the field, that's basketball, football, baseball, it doesn't matter. So, I think in my time, for sure, I can say the defense was always the catalyst for, any change. And it was always the implementation for any change or, anything that need to be done.
Okay. And that's how it should be. I mean, you hold your people together because it's just like, a job. You work at a job 8 hours a day, typically if you work a 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be, you with those people for a set amount of time. You gotta hold everybody accountable. And so if you're not doing that within that time, you're not going to enjoy being there and being with those people. And so what I see and what I saw down on that sideline was these were brothers. They were family. And again, they got passionate. It wasn't negative. It wasn't anger, it was passion. You see that because you have to be passionate about this game and passionate about what you do because there are so many levels and so many ways that something can turn out. And so I applaud these guys for doing that. And like you say, everybody keeping everybody accountable for themselves, or the D line keeping it for the D, the all O line keeping it there. So I do applaud that in these guys and being able to do that. But now that y'all done talked all about basketball, it's almost time to pivot to B-ball, but I'm gonna start this off here again. I'm gonna put this boy back up. So B-Hawk, is this your signature?
That's my signature. That's why it took so long to get back to you.
He was perfecting his signature. B-Hawk sent it to my house in Ohio, and I'm in Arizona. My neighbor's a cop, and I know the FedEx man. The FedEx man brought this over to my neighbor because he know I don't live there no more. So he sent me a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, George, I dropped your package off at your neighbor's house. He gonna send it to you." So that's what having good people. And B-Hawk is my man, good person. But with this ball I have in my hand, I put on Facebook out there. We haven't gotten a question yet, but I put on Facebook out there that I wanted people to put some questions on there so that I can ask you, but nobody did. But also what I did on there was this ball is a raffle prize for the Trice Legacy Foundation. So if you go out to johnjacktrice.org, and it's on Facebook, it's on the Trice Legacy Facebook and my personal Facebook. But if you go out to johnjacktrice.org, hit the donation button. Any donation you make in increments of $5 gets you an entry into the raffle. So $25 is 5 raffle entries. And it's all going to charity. It's all tax deductible. So everything you do on that through that link is all tax deductible. You will get a tax receipt at the end of the year. But we're trying to raise some money for the projects we're doing. We're going to have an awards dinner in May. We're trying to get some technology, some computers, and some internet for people in the low income areas. If you know somebody has connection on some computers, let us know because we can always use that. But for any $5 increments you put out there, you get one entry, and we will do it live on our next show. So Brandon Hawkins' signature right here, he has confirmed that we don't have those certificates, they sign them and they say this is authentic. But we got Brandon saying this is his signature. I'm touching it. It has his fingerprints on it. You can get it DNA tested. But as we transition to basketball, we are looking at it's first game. It's not an exhibition game. It is an exhibition game. It's one of those kind of filler out games. We won 88-39. We shot 51% from the field, 31%, almost 32% from 3-pointers, had 14 turnovers, but also out rebounded 41-25. So in looking at these stats, this is where I think Brent, me and you can just actually get off the call and just let Marcus and B-Hawk be on here for the rest of this, and they can just go as long as they want to go because they ain't gonna talk about basketball. So when we talk about these stats, I didn't get a chance to see the game. Where was I on the 7th? I don't remember where I was on the 7th. I can't remember what I was doing an hour ago. But we won a game. Those percentages to me seem pretty good from the floor. Now, the defense of the other team of the Jaguars may have been suspect. I don't know. Again, I didn't see the game, but what do y'all think about just those stats in general? Not how they look, but just hearing that. If you didn't know it was Iowa State, what would you think of those numbers? 51% field goal, 3-pointers, 31%. Out rebounding, plus 16 on the rebounds, and then minus 15 on the turnovers. What do y'all think about that? Giving back in y'all day. And Brent, if you want to jump in, you can, but I know they're going to take over the conversation, so I'm just going to keep drinking.
I'm with you.
Well, I'm looking at the stacks now. 14 turnovers against a team like that.
Yeah. I'm looking at the stats too. Yeah.
You see the 20 assists versus 4. The 3-point percentage wasn't the best. He made 6 of 19. Mike Nurse would have taken 19 himself.
It.
So it's the first game. Did a lot of things well, a lot of steals. A couple blocks. The assist definitely was up there. Shot over 50% from the field. Held them under 35% from the field. But like I said, the biggest thing. Well, we look at this and we see the turnovers. To have 15 steals and 14 turnovers, then that balances itself out in terms of you took it away 15 times, but you also gave it back to them 14 times.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say being on the line, that's the number one thing we look at those turnovers. Like I said, assists were high and things like that, and the rebounds were definitely out rebounding them. The score was 88-39. So it's one of those things where you go out and test the waters to see how things are. I know Coach TJ Oates, weren't happy about those turnovers, but it's the first game, so you get your legs up under you, see what's going on. Right at 79% from the free throw line. It isn't the best, but it's average. So when you think about, like I said, it being the first game, we just, take that as no disrespect to the other squad, but you really take that as like a practice game or something like that.
Nah, you can disrespect them. This is ours, remember? George told me this our pod, so we can disrespect them as much as we want to.
Just putting it into the game plan of understanding, we're not going to look at the score. We expected to beat them by 40 plus points. So you just got to put that into perspective and understand the fact that, if that was a Big 12 foe, then it wouldn't be as lopsided as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look at that and say, okay, those are some good numbers. But when I look at it too, I'm looking at the Big 12. We have 5 teams in the Big 12 ranked, preseason ranked. That's a tough conference, and the other teams ain't no slouches really either. So I look at this and I say that's a good start to have those percentages, but they got to keep those against the good teams. Not to say the Jaguars aren't the good teams, but with having that many great teams, Kansas is always in that top 10. They're 5 this year. They have to keep that mentality up to not turn the ball over and out rebound. Those are the 2 things they got to do. The shots are going to fall or they're not going to fall. They're going to have off nights there, but keeping that defense, we always talk about Brent, you said earlier, defense winning games, defense wins championships. And so they got to keep that up. They got to keep those differentials. I mean, those double-digit differentials, I think, are something that's going to be key in these tight games and against these top-tier teams. And so, again, we haven't been tested yet. But once we get tested, that's where I feel we have to win. That's the battle we got to win. Am I off point on there? Or am I feeling it right?
No, you're doing it right. And not piggyback off of what Marcus said, and not to nitpick, but it looks like too we fouled too much. Mm-hmm. We had 18 personal fouls, which means you in the bonus one of those halves, and if it falls in the second half, like you said, you start conference play, that'll make or break you too. Once again, it's the details. You know what I mean? You fouling and you putting somebody on the line and they get to shoot 2 free throws. Another thing, this game, we were at home, you on the road. Hey, you need them points or you don't want to give up them easy points. So, like you said, game 1, things to tighten up, but, you definitely want to keep those things you can control. Fouling, turnovers, rebounds, like Coach Euschtacy used to say, man, come on, bro. Like, hey, I don't want to hear no excuse where we at. Them things you going to have to do if you want to be successful. And that's just any team.
Taman didn't score any points. He only played 17 minutes. He didn't get injured or anything, did he? Because I didn't get the chance to see the game either. But I see he played 17 minutes.
I didn't see the game. I don't think he got injured. I mean, from what I was looking at, I'm gonna look by the. I'm gonna look at some things and see.
Might have been in foul trouble. They don't show though. What his
Now I'm not seeing anything in the recap about him at all.
Yeah,
but time facilitator or with no assist out of him either?
No. Yeah, 5 assists.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 assists. I mean, that's respectable. I mean, without a doubt, he's a freshman, right? Or is he a sophomore? I think this is
a true freshman.
True freshman. So
he just came out,
that's respectable for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, we have 5 players from transfer portal and 3 freshmen, and a walk-on on his roster. Yeah,
you said 5 players from the transfer portal.
Yep, 3 freshmen and a walk-on. So we are. I mean, it kind of seems like it's going to be a challenge. But again, we went to the Sweet 16 last year, not expecting to be there, and those boys surprised us. So I'm hoping they can surprise us again this year. Again, it's so early to tell. There's a lot more games than in football. So only time will tell. But Gabe is the only returning starter. So we only got 1 starter returning from last year. So that's a telltale right there. So he has to be the leader of this team, and everybody has to learn this new system, because they haven't played in this system or started in this system, and so they have to learn. It's a whole different learning curve right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was looking at that. These are a lot of new names. But, you know, that's college basketball. I know Caleb Grill's been there. You know, so he's an upperclassman. So he's been around. He had 9 and 7, 2 assists. That's real respectable in 32 minutes. You know, can continue to play well for sure. Gabe is gonna definitely have his leadership out there. He has 16 points.
But also with Gabe, you know, he has Osun Osuni. We talked about him last week. You know, he's on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award winner watch list. So he's a transfer to watch. So he has somebody to get that ball to down low. That is a force to be reckoned with. So that helps, because I think that he's going to draw a lot of attention to himself. So I think that will give the other players that are new to this offense, new to this team, time to get their shots off, time to you know, be active, be mobile. You know, I think that's going to help.
Hey man, I'm sorry, because I know this would be a Larry billboard. Hey, this man played 18 minutes and had 2 rebounds.
2 rebounds. Big fella got to give me more than
at
2
6'10". Hey man, I'm just that film room with tomorrow, it would be ugly. He gotta hit them boards, bro. 6'10", come on. He gotta hit them boards.
He would have known that when he looked at the stat sheet.
Right. I hope so.
Man. 18 minutes, 10 and 2. But I mean, even if you don't score, you big fella, you got to crash some boards. That's what I get on my big fella.
You know what? And I didn't watch, so I can't see if he did anything else. I mean, I don't see that he had 2 assists. So he was well rounded, not doing what he's supposed to do in his position, but he was putting in other places. But you know, I'm just looking at where we got our win was really from our bench. If you think about it, our bench scored more. I mean, they scored more points than our starters almost. Mm-hmm. You know, we had one starter who didn't score. Lipsy didn't score. You know, and then our bench, everybody on the bench except for Hawley scored. So we had bench production. So if we're getting that off the bench, that means we have some leadership, that we have a good bench, that when they come in, we are not, I mean, again, early game, but if you have a good bench coming in and they can score, it shows me something. It shows me that there is a leader on that bench team that can help to keep us and to keep that momentum going. So I'm hoping that's true, again, as we get into conference play and as we get into some tougher competition, because again, we don't know what that's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, it's really early in the season. You know, that we still in football season, so we're gonna still keep in football mode. But again, we're gonna start to build on this basketball and see where these boys go. But I mean, I'm hoping that they get they get it together. I mean, like again, they get it together for the season, for the real competition. But you know, again, I didn't play at Iowa State. Y'all 2 did. You know, so you know, I listen to what you say. I think you all are on the right path. But like B-Hawk, what you said, he got to give more production as the big man. You know, he because with that, if he is doing that, then people aren't going to fear him. So they're not going to double team him. They're not going to go down and they're not going to fear him. He has to put fear into these people so that they double team him, so that they look at him as a force. Because if he's doing that, they're like, okay, I'll just leave him open. I'll take what he can do. And I'll focus on everybody else, and that'll throw our game off. So, you know, I think you are right. And Larry, if we can get him on there, you know, on here saying something, you know, maybe we see what we can do there.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're up to these days.
Well, one of the biggest thing is, you know, it's not even the offensive side of it all of you know, trying to get double teams and things like that, just from the mere fact of controlling the boards. I mean, I don't know if there were 2 offensive rebounds or 2 defensive rebounds, but, you know, limiting their shots. You know, once that ball hit the rim for them and it doesn't go in, then we're trying to give them one possession. we're crashing that board to give them one possession and not give them multiple shots. Because like Brandon said, hit that rim, comes off to get to the offensive rebound. That's a breakdown all the way around. Like you got 5 guys on the floor. So that's a breakdown for everybody.
Everybody.
If you ain't do nothing else, the whole game that was wrong, that offensive rebound was a breakdown for you because we didn't secure it and we didn't get it.
Yeah, Marcus, they had 7 offensive rebounds and we had 15.
But still, I mean, they had 7, so we should have had 20 plus.
Yeah.
We played Texas Tech and we didn't give them an offensive rebound the whole game.
Dang.
We boarding it. Yeah, coming off of that, we getting it off the rim and we going and we running. So those are the things that you focus on, and that was deep in the Big 12. That was on the road against Texas Tech. Us going to that basket because we knew how locked in we had to be. We're not trying to blow you out. If it falls that way and it happens and we end up blowing you out, and somebody ends up having a triple-double or 30-plus points, it's just going to fall that way. But at the end of the day, the key things that we have to do to secure as a team rebounds is what we focused on. If you running into each other, to get that rebound. We used to have to get Jamal out of there a lot. He played the 1 and 2. So when we shot the ball on the offensive end, the 1 and 2 gets the half court in the hole. And we used to have to get him out of there a lot because if he crashing the board, that's a breakdown. That's not your position. That's not what we want you to do. So it's those little things like that, man, that you got to be focused on. And like we said, we're not picking on big fella, but picking on you with 2 rebounds, big fella. I just got to.
Yeah, but I'll close us on this as we try to wrap a little bit up. But we had 20 assists, so that means they were passing the ball well. So I look at that and I say they were passing the ball. They were finding the open man, which is why we had the points we had. Again, 29 turnovers to 14 turnovers. That helped us too, scoring off those turnovers. But also the other thing was, you talk about the defense. We had 15 steals. So we were playing offense. It seemed like the big guy, we were playing more small ball. It seemed like we were playing small ball and that was working for us rather than playing with the big man. Again, I know he was out there, but I think our true test is going to be how we play in this small ball and play quick. And as we play Kansas and these other teams, it's going to be quick. And so I think they showed some things that they have that they can build upon with these numbers, the steals and the assists. I think they showed some things. So I think that, we got a lot more to see from these guys. If the Jags wouldn't have had that many turnovers, maybe the score would have been different. But, I'm excited to see what this season brings. And, I'm trying to get back for a game in Hilton because I ain't been in Hilton in like 8 years, 8 years. So I want to get back.
Me both.
Yeah.
It's longer for me, so I definitely got to get back.
Yeah. So, we'll get out there. We will make sure we will keep seeing what these guys can do. I'll make sure to see the next games. So I have more to talk about, more to add to the conversation. We will not bring another basketball player on here because they take over the conversation. But B Hawk, I was glad to have you out here, man.
Thank you.
I'm gonna call out at the end of this. I'm calling out PJ Runge. He said it was a 50-50 shot you were coming on this show today.
Whoa.
He didn't believe you was gonna show up.
Who, me or Marcus?
You B
Oh,
Hawk.
yeah, I know. I know. And I done missed some of y'all FaceTime calls, but hey, bro, you know what I just had to baby.
Hey, we know we got you, man. We don't listen to PJ, no way. So PJ Runge, we calling you out. B Hawk, say something to PJ.
Tell him I said, what's up, brother? Hey, matter of fact, I will see you soon. I don't know when, but I will see you soon.
All right, y'all. Side of the Storm, brought to you by Three Beards Media. Revelton Distillery is our sponsor. Thank you to our guest host today, Brandon Hawkins. Thank you for joining us today, my man.
Thank you for having me.
Freshman, good seeing you, freshman.
Always, big time, always.
I want you to send us off, B Hawk. So say something to send us off, and we'll close with whatever you say, man.
Oh, shit. Don't put me on the spot like that.
All right, we won't do it.
There you go.
We'll holler at y'all next week. All right, y'all.
Hey.
Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.
Yes, sir.